um, my wife's cousin's husband, Dave, right? Dave's a good bloke, all right? Sometimes I find him a bit annoying, but other times he really challenges me. So today he really challenged me, and he said, he was talking to the Lord about forgiveness. You know, when Jesus says, we need to forgive one another as he's forgiven us. If we don't forgive one another's sins, he won't forgive us. And, you know, it's really hard when you're hurt to forgive, right? But let me tell you something. Reconciliation is a two-way street. What we're meant to do, and we often don't do it, we all mess up on this one, is when we're hurt, we tend to tell everyone else, and we don't go to the person who's hurt us and say to them privately, look, mate, you really hurt me when you said that. And especially when they've wronged us. And we're meant to go there with the spirit of forgiveness, not of condemnation, but forgiveness. And we might find we need to listen, because we might have got the wrong end of the stick, right? Sometimes, you know, we hear things and we think one thing and it's not what's meant, all right? Sometimes we are wrong. Sometimes they're wrong and they do need to confess. But we are meant to go privately to one another and sort it out before we start gobbing off about it publicly, all right? So don't gob off about it publicly. Go and talk to your brother. Go and tell him why you're offended. But have an open heart. Be prepared to be wrong, you know? Because you might be offended because someone was gossiping and you didn't hear it from your brother, you heard it from someone else. But why did you hear it from someone else? Well, maybe they spoke to that person because you turned your brother away. So don't turn your brother away. Talk to him, hear his heart, hear what's hurting him, and then be prepared to change your mind and be prepared to forgive, because that's what we've got to do, isn't it? So the idea of reconciliation is not to condemn one another, not to get thrown out of church or disfellowshipped or turned away, but it's for forgiveness. So we have to remember what we need to achieve. We need to forgive one another, or God won't forgive us. So it's so much easier when we are prepared to go and talk to the person we're offended with and hear their story, hear what's going on, hear why they're talking. Maybe you've offended them, and now hurt person hurts others, don't they? So maybe you need to listen to them. So it makes life easier, much easier for someone to forgive. All right, some people can just forgive. I find it really hard. I think there has to be some sort of reconciliation. But remember that Jesus died on the cross for our sins too. So when we came and confessed that we'd sinned, he forgave us. So we must too forgive. All right, that's the whole goal, isn't it? But in order for us to be forgiven, we have to confess that we've done something wrong. And it might be a two-way street. And remember, you might have been talking about your brother when you were meant to be talking to him. And maybe he was doing the same to you. So in that case, go and speak to him. Don't hide. Don't hide in a hole. Don't be offended. Don't pretend everything's all right when it isn't. Go and speak to them. Go and sort it out. Go and clear your account. Ask him, is there anything we need to talk about? Is there something, if you've got anything against me? And if he says no, well, he says no. But then you can say, well, there's this one thing that I need to talk to you about. You really hurt me. And just, so we've got to do that, right? So don't be afraid to do that. I mean, if you can just forgive people and brush it off, well, kudos to you, but I'm human. I make mistakes, and if I get hurt, it tends to niggle me every now and again. But if we want to remove that foothold in people's lives, in our brothers and sisters' lives, we need to reconcile our issues with one another. We need to come together and say, well, this is what's happened. Let's sort it out. But if we're lying, don't lie. If you did something that you shouldn't have done, just own up. And your brother should forgive you. So it's very important. We mustn't be afraid to confront our issues. Often fear is just fog. And with a bit of light, it dissipates. So a bit of warmth and love, It's very important. But we're all hurting. I know there's a lot of people hurting out there. But what you need to do is you need to be reconciled to one another, not just to God. And then then let's all go and worship God and have a great party. Because honestly, I don't want to be carrying all of this hurt and pain in my heart either. But it does take reaching out and talking to your brother and sorting it out. If you can't do that, then you're not helping him. And you're not helping yourself if you've still got unforgiveness in your heart. So we've got to do it, man. We've all got to do it. Not just you, me too, everyone, we, all right? So anyway, that's my little 5 minutes from Dave, because he shared a little thing that God told him about forgiveness. So it's really important that we have the heart of reconciliation, the heart to sort things out, not just write people off and call them heathens. We have to sort it out, man. Go and be reconciled to your brothers and sisters, and then go and worship God today, tomorrow, whenever you're going to do it. But please, reconcile with your brothers and sisters. Don't hold on to bitterness and pride and anger. We need to sort it out, man. So, God bless. Have a nice day.